All right, guess we're live.
Okay.
Yeah. So you got Bishop. Let me check on my end. Yeah, we're live. There's 60 people with us. Hey, everybody, welcome.
Hey, guys.
Live streaming. Bishop, take it away. I'll let you do what you do. You do best.
So how you doing, everyone? Welcome to today's actual first Facebook corporate broadcast. So we're honored to be here with you guys. Very excited. Hopefully there's no tech issues like we had on the other calls. And so a lot of great information to share with you guys tonight. We truly appreciate all of you hanging in here, catching the vision of what we have that we believe is absolutely going to dominate and disrupt the rideshare industry. So we really appreciate you guys capturing that vision and hanging in there with us as we start rolling out additional innovations to the marketplace. And Mr. McNulty and David Mott are going to talk about that here in just a moment tonight. But I want you guys to really remember when you're talking to different individuals to really pinpoint the innovations, pinpoint the solutions, pinpoint the pain points that all these different individuals have, and then point them to those solutions, right? And remember, I can't stress this enough about this being the beginning of the year. And so many people in so many industries are looking for new ways to reinvent themselves. I was just in a meeting the other day and ran into someone who mentioned to me, I started asking her, hey, tell me your story. You know, what are you trying to accomplish this year? She started telling me about where she was working. And then she goes, you know what, but I'm looking for additional income. So I'm thinking about possibly doing Uber. Me and my brother are thinking about doing Uber together to raise additional income. And I said, well, that's amazing. And I said, you know, in regards to that, there's so many new innovations that come down the pipeline with the rideshare industry. And I would love to talk to you about that. And so we started building that relationship, and she's already coming on board. So the whole point is, if I didn't ask what her story was, if I didn't start really understanding where she was as a person, right? And all of a sudden I just started throwing out everything about this rideshare, I would have lost her. So it's so important that no matter what business you're in, it is a people business. You don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so today we're going to talk about a lot of the updates. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. David Mata and Mr. Bob McNulty here in just a moment for you guys. Everyone is saying hi, Bob. Hi, David. Good to see you guys. We're very excited to be here. But let me go ahead and bring up our CMO, Chief Marketing Officer and co-founder, Mr. David Mata. And I'm going to jump back and forth in here with these individuals. David, go ahead.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much, Bishop, for an introduction. As usual, you do an amazing job, my friend. And I'm not sure if we are seeing Bob. Is everybody seeing Bob?
Yeah, I see him.
You see him, right? Yeah, for some reason on my screen here, he's gone. But hey, guys, if you're, I love that we have about 160 people here already and more coming by the second. But if you're writing something, just so you know, we cannot tell who's writing. So if you can, please, if you write something, you have a question, make sure you put your name either in front of it or right after.
Maybe I can help you with that, David. I see him over here.
You see them? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I can help you with that. But guys, before David gets going, I really want you guys to understand and appreciate how hard these two gentlemen are working behind the scenes. And I can tell you, David is working so many angles and departments in this company, along with Mr. McNulty. It's just been phenomenal to watch this gentleman work. Every time I talk to him, he's like over here, he's doing this, he's doing that, and multitasking. And so David, again, Mr. McNulty and David, just really appreciate you guys and everything that you're doing.
Man, you're too kind, my friend. Thank you so much once again. And well, and before we start here too, I want to say, everybody, if you're not aware, please keep Bishop's families in prayer. They recently had a loss of the family yesterday. There's actually been a few losses, unfortunately, over the last few months. So as you guys know and love him, he's a tremendous guy. He may not look like with, that good, poker face almost that he has, but this guy is he's always smiling, man. I don't know how he does it. He's always happy, always smiling. And there's a lot of stuff sometimes going on behind the scenes, but I appreciate you guys just sending some love over to his family and his wife. Keep them in prayers. We really appreciate that because he's really family to me and to our company. So we love you, Bishop. Just know that, we appreciate you for everything that you do. And we always will. Before this business and after this business, we know that your friendship is something we can always count on. So thank you so much, my friend.
Absolutely. You too, my friend.
Yeah, so guys, again, excited to be here. Very, very excited. There's a lot of things going on, as Bishop said here. That you know, we're in the trenches here, right? There's a lot of parts moving, a lot of changes, a lot of updates, a lot of improvements. But that's how it is, right? We have to just get down to business and figure out how to do it best and do it. So we're very excited to share some things with you guys today. I'm actually going to be sharing my screen in a few minutes. I want to take this opportunity since we're all live and there's video going on and show you guys a little bit of the back office, some of the marketing tools that are coming out, answer any questions that you guys may have as well. So we'll make this a fun update and let's make the best out of it. Bishop, everybody here is sending you some love, my friend. I'm going to bring some of this comments to the screen so you can see. Unfortunately, again, we don't know who's writing. You probably see it, my friend, and you know that we all love you here. Yeah, it's a great time. I'm gonna try not to be. I should have given this to you, Bishop. This is so much better than me doing this lives, and so that you can control next time. We'll do that. Make sure you're the one on the driver's seat here of this lives, because I'm looking at the comments. I'm trying to concentrate here. It's not working. I'm good at multitask.
Yeah, I'll get it next time.
Yeah, but yeah, guys. But well, if you haven't been to your back office yet, I'm actually going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's see if I can do that real quick, so we can just get to the fun part. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. As Bishop said, hopefully technology will not leave us hanging today. All right, let me see here. All right. Well, actually, I don't know what's going on. It's kicking it out. Did you see it for a minute and then went out?
Yeah.
I see it. It's in the group. You're showing it.
You see it? Okay. So let me try here. Yeah, it went out for some reason.
Yeah, it was there and then it went back.
I'm gonna try one more time. If it doesn't work, we'll just continue. I'll just walk you guys through it. And I apologize that I'm looking multiple places. I have several screens here in front of me.
Yeah, I do the same. I do the same.
So you know how it is. Let's see here one more time. Yeah, you know what? Maybe it's because there's 3 people already. It's not allowing me. But anyway, I will guide you on what to do. And I'll post a video here maybe another time later showing what we have. But now if you go under the links section on your back office, a few things are released. Keep in mind, right, everything that you see there is still evolving. Okay, there's a lot of work that's still being done. But you have a straight link to your replicated sites now. You have a link to a capture page that, again, please don't think that that's, this is okay to get started. We're still working behind the scenes on improving them. We just didn't want to wait much longer before giving you guys some tools. And so there's a capture page there now as well as there's a lot of webinar already that are, want to only hear Bishop. I don't know if you guys know this, but I've been to a lot of webinars in my time. I've seen a lot of people present, but I've never seen anybody like Bishop deliver a webinar. And he just does a phenomenal job. So I asked him to record one for us. And so that's who's making the sales for you on that webinar. So use it. And we have a blog section as well. The blog, I actually asked them to take it down for now because we still have to put the content there, but it's already up. At least you guys see that the page exists. And in the next couple of days, we're going to be putting a lot of content on that page so that when you share it, if you share it to social media or anything like that, it looks like you're sharing an article from something, but you're actually going to be, if people click on those links, on the banners, whatever it is, they will be connected to you. So very exciting. And this is just the beginning of the tools I'm going to be bringing for you guys. I don't know what happened here. Looks like my camera went away. Do you see my camera, Bishop?
Yes.
You do, right?
Yeah.
Huh. Let me see.
You're
check here. I don't see
Bob. Now you just froze, David.
Hold on 1 second. Technology, man, it's not helping us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can always refresh the page.
Let me see.
Come right back on. If that helps you.
Let's see. I'm refreshing. That looks so good on that on that photo too, Frozen.
Yeah, you look like you're 15. There's a full page of
Right.
Bishop. He's the only handsome guy in this call.
Exactly.
Look like I ate a bad
Okay, here
burrito.
it comes.
There you are.
There we are. I'm back. Thanks for the tip. It did work.
Okay, yeah, you're good.
All right. Am I back?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So you guys, again, keep in mind we have a lot of things that we're working, and here's another thing too. Okay, we are really excited about some of the things that are coming up. There are some events also coming up that you guys already know. There's an event going on in Orlando. We're just talking here behind the scenes. Most likely there will be an event in Spanish in Miami. We have to talk about it, see how we're going to do that one, maybe just English as well. But we have a huge Spanish team asking for some help on that. So probably will be the mid February. I would say maybe 16th of February.
Yeah, and then here will be both English and Spanish with me and Marco.
Yeah, exactly. We have that coming up. Maybe we should do like that in Miami as well. We know that for some Spanish leaders asking for that event, but there's English speaking and Spanish speaking people everywhere. So let's
There's also an
work that
event
out.
in Tampa in February also.
There's another event in Tampa in February. There we go. Yeah, guys.
So I'm going to be at all four of those, or all the Miami event, the Orlando event, and the Tampa, and then at Bishop's in LA, Orange County.
Mm-hmm.
So we really got a busy month ahead of us.
Yes.
You guys are keeping Bob very busy.
Yes, I'll be in Miami.
I'll
be in Miami.
Very well. Okay. Yeah. Well, Bob, is there anything that I know you have a lot of notes there of exciting things you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, first, I think we should touch on where we are a little bit on the technology side. We're doing a lot of cleanup, as everybody knows. Dave's been working really 24/7 for the last 4 weeks. And before that, he was working almost 24/7 for the last 6-7 months. And Bishop has done a great job, and everybody in the field has just been super. The leaders have been great, supporting the company as we get through these early stage stuff. But we're starting to get things smoothed out. Things are starting to come along. You're going to see a lot of changes, physical changes over the next 2 to 3 weeks on the whole front end, the way everything's going to work, the security, background checks, and all that stuff will be implemented. So we're getting caught up. We're going to try to get a payroll. We've been saying it for a week now, 2 weeks. The reason we haven't gotten the payroll run out is because we want to make sure everybody was sponsored by the right person. Everybody's in the right place before we run that report. So that got locked down today, so it should run tonight at midnight. Once that runs, then we go through the process. Still going to take 2 or 3 days once it goes out of the ACH. We are, however, looking at a hyper wallet, which means it's instant. So once we run the payroll run, and we're going to see if we can get it in place the next 10 or 15 days, then it's instantaneous to send the money out. So we're looking at a lot of different things. Some of the exciting things right now, just so you know what we've been doing behind the scenes, for those of you who haven't been keeping up with some of the things that are going on. Right now, we're approved in 6 states, 13 cities. So that's Arizona, which encompasses Tucson and Phoenix, New Mexico, Albuquerque, Santa Fe. Utah, we have Salt Lake City. Oregon, we have Portland and Bend. In Idaho, we have Boise. And then in Ohio, we have, which is great for us, Columbus, Cincinnati, Dayton, Cleveland, and Toledo. So those are all approved, and we're working through all the other stuff. So we got to start building these markets right away if you want to get open. And then right behind that, we have probably an additional, 5 to 6 states with another 20 or 24 cities attached to those. We're starting to get into some of the bigger states like Texas, Miami, or Florida, and those states that have multiple cities in the markets. So all of those, the ones I told you about just now, are all final. Those are in. We have TNC licenses, and we're just going to continue to ratchet that up. By the end of tomorrow, we'll have filed in 43 states, which encompasses about 150 cities. So we'll have those filed. So over the next 8 weeks, we will start getting all of those back as we go through the approval process by the state, then city, then airport. So once we do that, it will start rapidly ramping up. We've taken it in 3 bites. The first bites are the ones we're talking about, plus a few stragglers that we'll get in the next couple of days. And then the next bite is already been submitted, and we're already starting to get information back. And the other ones will be finalized by tomorrow and out. So we're taking on a big bite, just so everybody understands. This is not little tiny stuff we're doing. This is big stuff. Some of the things we're thinking about, and David, can you show some of the Tryp Go centers we're talking about doing? Can you bring those up, or maybe not because of the problem, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna try more. I'm gonna remove myself from the video and try to share like that. Okay, give me one second.
So we're coming up with a concept with what we call Tryp Go centers, and the Tryp Go centers will be small stores where drivers can go there. They can get any questions asked. They have personal touch. The last bit of the approval process will be done there. They'll go there with their Jiffy Lube certificate. I think we're getting feedback. The Jiffy Lube certificate. They'll get the final approval and get their sticker, and then they'll be on their way. So if you look here, what David's putting up, those are the conceptual designs of the Go Center. We're going to finalize probably tomorrow, the next day. We're going to need at least 24 to 25 Go Centers over the next 4 or 5 weeks that we got to take down that much real estate to make this happen. So we're moving along with that. The Go Center also is going to be an important component as a social tool in the marketplace to connect with the drivers. They can come there, coffee, tea, socialize. They can have there's going to be a sitting area where they can congregate, some couches and what have you, but also we'll probably have a seating area for about 25 to 30. So if there's any kind of webinar or training class going on, they can come in and go through the training class. So it's going to be a little different experience than what's going on with the other rideshare guys. But I think we're on the right track, and we really been back and forth on, do we really need it or not need it? And I've come to the conclusion that we really do need it. So it's another way for us to connect with the drivers, and that's an important part of our business model. So every city that we go into will have a Tryp Go Center. So at the end of the day, we're going to have to put about 150 of these up in the next probably 6, 7, 8 months around the United States. We're also finalized negotiating on our corporate offices. The corporate offices hopefully will go into escrow next week. And then if that goes well, we'll close in about 60 days. The corporate offices will be a campus business model with each department having their own building. So it's pretty exciting stuff, and we're moving that along. It's on a 5-acre piece of property. The buildings are all built out already. We just got to go in and remodel the interiors and get them up and running. So just been a lot of background stuff that you don't see that's been going on over the last 5 or 6 months. But it's all starting to come together. David, you got anything you want to add to that?
I want to ask you a question. Can I live in one of those?
Yeah. I'm going to.
I told David that the time too. I was like, David, I'm going to live at one of them.
Yeah, I want to live on a Go Center, man. That place is amazing.
It's going to be really nice. Hopefully we'll be in about the time we have our first event in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, no, guys. Well, like Bob said, right? We're going to do the first ones ourselves, and because we really need to define that vision, define the look and feel, how things should be ran in there, and create somewhat of a master plan so that they can be. But I have a lot of people, because we mentioned this before, that will leaders or just a business person be able to participate in one of those Go Centers. So that's still on the plan as well, correct, Bob? For the near future, we make sure that we do it right first.
Yes.
And open up the opportunity.
Yes. And
that might lead to an override in the area where the Go Center is. So just stay tuned, guys. This is just the beginning. We really haven't even got started to the magnitude that this business model can become. So we're definitely
there's
super
a lot
excited.
of moving parts to it. We want to make sure we're right in everything we do. So the best way, particularly in the Go Centers, is to get the first 10 or 15 out of the ground with us managing them, getting the culture right, getting the systems and how people react to them, and finding out some of the issues that are going to come up and correct those. And then once we get that done, then we'll probably sort out some type of business opportunity for influencers to get involved and drivers to get involved where they can maybe participate running them, and then we give them an override the market or something. We haven't really determined that, but I think it's going to be pretty exciting to do. I think all the things we're on are leading edge stuff. And speaking of leading edge, I'm just looking at the number of people on tonight. The reason why we moved to this format from the call center format or the call itself, it's just that the lines were overheated. I mean, we had thousands of people on the line last week, and it was very difficult to communicate. We're shifting over, so we don't have very many people on the call. So it's to everybody on this call, and we're sending out emails, and we're coming up with a new text platform, a new email platform. We're also working on that. Hopefully that'll be put together in the next 6 or 7 days, so we can mass communicate daily to the field with everybody. So if there's 100,000, 200,000 people, we can text message right out instantaneously and touch everybody. So there's a lot of things that we know we need to do, and we're working on. We'd like these calls to get up to thousands of people, and that's why we moved to this format, because under the other format, we couldn't do it without having a lot of issues. But we plan on growing this Facebook Live chat, whatever you want to call it, weekly.
Exactly.
Right. And those Tryp stores, I want you guys to remember, in today's business world, how you set up that culture within your company is so important, right? It's all about the experience, not only for the end user, but also for your employees and for your staff and for your customers. So right now, it's all about the experience that they have with your brand. And so by them coming to these type of locations, these Trypco locations, that's just a whole new experience. So the more they can experience your brand, the more you're going to captivate people, the longer they're going to stay with you, the more they're going to use you, the more they're going to spread the message about you. So I want you to understand, having something so unique and futuristic and innovative in our Trypco locations is just another way of really building a solid tribe and building out this infrastructure as we start, dominating here in the U.S. and then internationally. And Dave and I talk a lot about this, about building your tribe. And it's so important because if you look at Google, Facebook, and Apple, the way that they have their locations says a lot about the culture that they've built within their company. And that's why they're just gigantic, enormous companies today, is because they built that tribe from the inside out. And so it's really solid.
Exactly. And I wanted to add that this gold standards, right, and our entire brand, we're building it with obviously you guys in mind, but there's two people that we have in mind even more, which are the drivers, right? But this gold standards, they're going to be so attractive, so welcoming, that I can see a lot of riders just walking up to it to hang out and learn more about it and download the app. I think that if we do the job that we're thinking we're going to do with this and evolve, this can become like a point for people to go and even hang out. So it's not a lot more than just a business. It's going to be a social place as well. They can come and learn. Obviously, more entrepreneurship, environment style, but very excited. I'm stoked about that idea. It's something that Bob and I, kind of put together because we had some similar thoughts and some ideas from the past and from now, and it just worked, right? It was one of those things that clicked, and here it is. I mean, obviously, we don't have them yet. Those are mock-ups, right? What we envision them to be like. But we're already looking, like Bob said, for real estate right now as we speak on the cities that we approved.
Yeah, I was with the realtors last night, working with them on finding the locations we're looking for in these cities, and I gave them a list of, I think, 25 cities last night. So they will start immediately looking at all those cities. I gave them the parameters of what we're looking for. I don't think we're going to have any real trouble finding the locations and getting them up and running. We'll get them up pretty quickly. They're 1,500 to 2,000 square feet, so we can move pretty quickly. They're cookie cutter type business models. So, but yeah, it keeps us in touch with the drivers. It keeps the culture where we want it. Like Bishop was talking about, the experience is the most important thing. Not only the experience for the driver, and not only the experience for the influencers, but also the experience for the customer, on the end user, the person that's in the car that takes the ride. So we want to get a congruent message across every level of our company, whether it's internal employees, external, and through the passengers. So those are the things we're really looking at. I know it looks kind of convoluted at first when you start touching these touch points. The key to this business model is for us to be really flexible and move as quickly as possible. And that's what we're doing. We're going down about 5 or 6 funnels right now to get everything in place. So I'm really happy with where we are. I wish we were a little bit better on the tech and we didn't have some of these issues, but they're getting resolved as we speak, and we'll get better over the next 10 days or so. But I think right now we got 13 cities. People can start to work, start recruiting those cities so we can start opening them up. That's the biggest single thing. The apps will be ready to go by the end of the month or the first couple, 4 or 5 days in February. David's done a beautiful job of designing the look and feel of the apps, both the rider and driver app. They're both not in production. They're both in testing right now. So once the testing keeps evolving over the next week or so, then we put the new face on them, and then we submit them to Apple and Android and get them approved. Then they'll be ready to go. We have plans on the rider app, once we launch the rider app, to get into millions of people's hands pretty quickly through a little different strategy we've got to get that out there. But I think we're extremely confident in what we're going to do on the rider app. So I think when you see what we're doing, as we get closer to that, we'll announce what we're going to be doing. You're going to be pretty surprised.
Absolutely, Bob. And so without that being said, guys, I can tell you, I can ask you for one favor. Be patient, right? We are working. We're not hiding behind any walls, or, we're here live on Facebook talking to you guys. But Rome was not built in a day, right? We've been working towards this opportunity for a year now, but just so massive, right? It doesn't happen overnight. And so hang in there, help us, find whatever issues is going on, continue to report them to us. We are increasing the size of our teams as we speak as well. We're doing everything that we possibly can to get things smoothed out as fast as possible. And from that point on, continue to improve on delivering a better and better service and technology and marketing material for you guys. So we haven't even started yet. So I appreciate all of you who are
talking about is what you're just saying, which is important for people on the call to understand. We just also bringing on another part of the team, which is for onboarding drivers. So once we have this new lookup and Universal is up on the background checks in the next probably week or 10 days, that's up. We'll have a process in place along with people in place to onboard drivers. So they'll fill out their information. They'll have a helpline. If they get stuck anywhere, they can call. There'll be people involved. Like I said, we're already hiring those people to put a process in place. So we want to pick up the pace and start really onboarding drivers quickly now.
Awesome. And another thing too, just to really say, we appreciate all of you that have been really receptive to compliance. And I can say, Sydney, Ray, and Marco, and everyone that's in that admin team here in the Facebook group has been doing a phenomenal job. I mean, just phenomenal. I've been involved in a lot of things, but I can tell you, the team Sydney's put together has been just phenomenal. Brilliant individuals, but also to all of you that we've contacted, and you guys were very compliant. Majority of you making the necessary changes, and they're so important because it's important how the market sees this brand, right? The branding behind this is so crucial moving forward for this company. And so we really appreciate you guys, making the adjustments to your websites, your funnels, and different things like that. So again, just wanted to congratulate Sydney, Ray, and the staff that she's put together, or the admin team, I should say, here in the group for all the compliance issues.
Absolutely, guys. And make Bishop's my words. You guys are just phenomenal. And we couldn't do it without you guys. And so thank you so much.
I think I've covered everything, unless there's some questions. Anybody typing any questions out?
Yeah, let's fill out some questions. Bishop, do you see any questions that you want to ask?
Yeah. Go ahead and ask your questions, you guys. Some of the questions just disappeared. People are saying ready to work. There's a separate post for cities. Okay.
I'm also digging here some questions. There's a question. Will Texas include all states or just major cities? All state or just major cities? Well, we'll start with major cities, correct, Bob, and in surrounding areas of the major cities.
Yeah. So the first set of look at the industry is where's the meat of the business? So that's where we're going. Obviously, the low-hanging fruit, which is 43 states and 90 markets. Those 90 markets are about 150 cities, but there's also another 300 to 400 cities after this. So the key is get our footprint in place, get the business up and running. Just to get the 150 cities and 43 states up to really fully operate, we need about 500,000 drivers. That's a monster. And theoretically, we could do that in the next 6 to 7 months, 8 months. It's going to be phenomenal, but everybody's got to go down and start recruiting these markets to make it really work. We've got to have, as I said, in some of the smaller markets, 3,000 to 5,000 drivers. Some of the larger markets, 5,000 to 10,000 drivers. Some of the other markets, like Las Vegas, which will get opened up here pretty soon, is probably going to take 12,000, 13,000 drivers to compete in this market. So, and that's the good thing about having Uber drivers and Lyft drivers already in it, and other rideshare drivers. So a lot of them will come over, and we want them to stay, obviously, and that's the reason why we have the stock option plan and why we're having the Go centers and why we're putting so much energy into that side of our business. We feel it's important. But yeah, I mean, I can see us having 1 million drivers in this company without ever going outside the United States, probably in the next 12 to 15 months, because all of the smaller markets will start. So for example, so anybody in California knows, you got, the LA, Orange County, you got basically the 5 supermarkets within the LA, Orange County market. Then you got San Diego, then you've got the smaller markets that will ultimately get into like Bakersfield and Fresno and Modesto and Stockton and all those markets that we're not even touching on these first 150 cities. So and those are all over the United States like that. The America is unbelievable when you really start getting into the geographics of the country. It's amazing.
Yeah. So one of the questions is, I believe it was Sydney that asked this. Will the website accept credit unions?
Credit unions?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, let me answer that question.
Yeah.
Yes. What's going on is this, guys. When the tech team was preparing that new form, okay, they looked at what the major banks were like as far as account numbers, and most banks are from 9 to 17. Smaller banks, right, can be as low as 3 digits account numbers. So I brought it up to their attention on the very first day. They're working on that update, and that should be released tomorrow. So as of tomorrow, any small bank should be able to go through.
Okay.
And credit unions and things like that. So yes, it was just an update that we're missing, and it's they're short. They told me that tomorrow it will be live.
Okay. Another question is, when will there be physical marketing materials like business cards, flyers? Is there anything for business cards?
Yeah, we already have a business card designed. Our graphic designer just
it's really good. Yeah, it's a good design.
Yeah, I'll bring it. I'll see if I can bring it up here in a minute. Let me see if I can bring it up. Let's see here.
Can you bring up the business card?
What's up, Bob?
Can you bring up what the business card looks like?
Yeah, I'm looking for it right now. Give me 1 second.
And Bob, here's another question. People are asking, California, when will any cities be launched in California, since they were thinking California in the beginning?
Itself. We've broken the country down in 7 regions. California is one region by itself. The short answer is we're filed in California now. There's a bunch of hurdles we have to jump. It's a little different than most of the states. So you have to go through the state, then you have to go through the cities, and then the city, the airports, and then a lot of times some of the smaller cities we have to go to. So we're getting a list of those cities that we have to get approved in too. So it's not just LA, the greater LA market one approval. It could be 25 other little cities inside the LA greater market or Orange County. We're working on it. Probably my guess is by the time we get rolling in California, it'll be 60 days. It's just a little bit longer process. We have been in contact with the airports and all that stuff. So it's coming along.
Okay,
there's a card.
Do you guys see the business card design?
Yep. So that's what the business card looks like, you guys.
Yeah, guys. So it's
amazing.
simple, but it tells the story.
Yes.
So we'll have this ready for you guys. I mean, well, the what do you call it? The mock-up ready for you guys to download and put your names on it and all that. So honestly, our graphic designer has just been so busy helping us with Tryp Go and the whole 9 yards. And that's the reason why we don't have a lot of the materials yet, but it's on the pipeline. We'll have flyers for you guys. We'll have banners. We'll have everything in your back office.
Yeah, I can tell you guys, when David first showed me that design, I was like, okay, that's a very, very slick design. It looks really good. And the story that it does is amazing. Another question is, when is there going to be dashboard training for the back office?
Great question. Yeah, well, the back office is starting to come together nicely now. There are some videos already that were shot the other day, and they're probably in your back office already. I'll double check on that. But I was just waiting for some of the issues that we're having to be fixed so we can start shooting those videos. So we'll definitely do training. In fact, we'll do some live trainings here on Facebook so that we can all go through it together, troubleshoot some things. That's the reason why I really wanted to do this group, and everybody agreed with it because of that, right? The access to people, be able to be transparent and help you guys on the fly. And so rest assured, we're going to have videos of everything.
Okay, perfect.
A question here that I'll bring it up real quick too. Will the veterans still pay the $199 monthly fee? Yes, they will. Let me explain to you that the veteran program, most people don't understand it. So what we do is we set up a fund, right, that will put some money towards it. And if a veteran, I'll tell you how it works. It spells out really easy on the website if you have to go there and on the veteran program, but I'll explain it again. So essentially, a veteran comes in. They have to be a driver influencer, okay? After the market's opened, so they don't need to submit anything now. Once the market they live in, their market opens, and they drive for 90 days, okay? So they have to, be a customer for 90 days and actually drive and things like that. They can submit to us their veteran information, DD 14, and we'll reimburse them $300, okay? It will be $100 a month for the next 3 months. So that's how it works. Very simple. And after the $300, obviously they continue to pay their $199. But hopefully they'll have recruiters and people that won't even have a payment, towards their membership.
Okay, perfect. Another question is other languages coming for the intro video. For, I guess that 7-minute, 8-minute video.
We already have that in Portuguese and Spanish. So
are they posted?
What language are you guys looking for?
Are they posted in the back office?
No, we have the capability now too. That's something else on the back office that we'll be posting. The videos, they're going to be part of the marketing material, but we have now ability to give you guys the download of the comp plan, stock options, and the whole 9 yards from the back office.
But on the videos, the ones we've done in Portuguese and Spanish, are they going to be posted in the back office?
Yeah, we'll have a link to them on the back office. Yes.
And then we're also, just so everybody knows, there's a welcome video up there now, I believe, but that's going to get changed out in the next day or so, and that welcome video will be both in English and Spanish. I'm having that done over the weekend, so hopefully we can get that up by Monday morning. That's one I was talking to you about, David, a little while ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Another question. Thank you, Sydney. Sydney's answering some questions. I'm telling you guys, Sydney's just amazing. Absolute rock star. One of the other questions is...
I don't know if she even sleeps. She makes me crazy. I'm telling you.
One of the other questions is when will the 2.0 version be implemented for the back office? I guess they're asking about it, if they're a new system, what's going to happen with the back office?
Well, let's put it this way. We are redoing everything from scratch. So there's a lot of moving parts, but it will be done right without issues. So you'll see things coming up little by little. But I would say that I'll be honest with you, right? It's a lot of things, right? It's a big piece of technology. And I would, to be honest, about 60 days, I would say, before we are fully on a new system, 2.0, let's put it that way.
Yeah, where everything's been rebuilt and redone.
Good.
But
Good.
it will be evolving. It won't be overnight. You'll see a magical thing. You'll see little improvements weekly.
And continue to improve, forever. We're not going to stop. So we're going to make this as a bulletproof system. So just hang in there for us. Somebody's asking, Bob, what's the timeline for Hawaii?
We should hear back on Hawaii in the next few days.
Good. Next few days, Mark. I already know who's asking that question. I don't even need to look.
I'm gonna go over there and help them open that market up.
Yes, I already told them that's where we got a lot of family. I'll be out there with you, Mark and Ruby, and all of you guys.
Please invite me to that event too.
Right. Another question is that there's a lot of members that paid, but the money hasn't come out yet. What happens with that? And then second, it's a two-part question that this person asked, Ronnie, is there's a lot of people who got stuck in the system before when they were trying to pay, but they can't go back in and repay now with the new system to get active.
That's a Dave answer.
Somehow you broke up a little bit, Bishop. Can you repeat that question?
Okay, yes, it's two parts. One is there's a lot of members, you and I have talked about this, so there's a lot of members that got stuck in the system before and couldn't pay, fully finish upgrading, but they can't go back in and click and do the new process. So a lot of people are saying we have tons of members that are stuck.
There's 368 people.
368 people.
Yes, I've reported all of it to our programmers. I really hope that also will be ready tomorrow on the new release of the system. Every week they do releases, right? They're working because once you're on the live environment like we are now, you can't just fix things on the fly, right? So you have to fix it on test server, test it, and then launch the fix. So I believe tomorrow we have some new updates coming on that. That should be fixed, but I will be on top of it.
Will that solve the 350 some people that haven't been able to get into the system that when everything kind of got crazy?
Yes, well, they're in as a rider, but they try to pay, and the system now has that little somewhat of hard coded that they paid but really didn't pay.
Yeah.
And so when they're trying to go back in now and click the button to pay again, it's not letting them. So it's just a little glitch there that's being fixed.
Okay, good. All right. Well, we can send out an email to that or something to notify everybody.
Yeah. No, yeah, I've been on it every day. But new people are having issues.
The other question that she had, the second part was there's a lot of members who paid like 2 or 3 weeks ago and it went through in terms of the system, but the money hasn't come out their account and they're kind of panicking.
Well, surprisingly, I'll answer that too. But we've had a lot of people that had no sufficient funds in their accounts. We had a lot of people who the bank rejected their accounts because something was wrong. So if you haven't seen a payment out of your account, it's been 2 weeks, something did not go right. So reach out to support. That would be great if you can do that. Just reach out to people. Hey, I sent my payment in at this day, hasn't come out of my account. On the last call, we actually told you guys some of the information that you can provide to support. Say, hey, here's my bank account number. This is my correct address, name, routing number. Send that back to support, and we'll make sure we take care of your payment. So 2 weeks is not normal. Something went wrong on that.
Right. Okay, Ronnie. He did just answer that one. Another question Chris Hope had is the credit check is a concern for a lot of drivers. So what does that look like? Like, what do they need in terms of credit check? And then also, is there a second option if someone isn't approved in regards to their credit?
Yeah. So here's part of the deal that we've cut with. The card processing industry is made up of different levels. So we're working with what's called a PayFax, which is different than an ISO. So part of our negotiations is if somebody gets approved as a driver with us, they will automatically be approved on the merchant account. You follow me? So if they're approved as a driver, they have no problem. They'll get depends
That's
on
the background check and the whole 9 yards, right?
Yeah. So when they they'll come back once they get approved, then they'll go sign up for the merchant account. It'll be instant credit with them. We're looking at about a $5,000 a month line of credit for every driver that comes on. There'll be no questions. because they've already been approved by us. So they automatically get their account. We're actually working with a number of them, working through the technology of that today. Actually, not just today, been in the last couple of weeks. But that should be up and running probably in the next 10 or 15 days. I actually looked at the specs today. And but yeah, you shouldn't be a worry. If you become a driver, you'll get an account. You don't have to qualify any more than that.
Awesome.
They still need your information, right? But
oh yeah.
Qualify.
But there's not going to be what we're trying to alleviate is a credit check for the driver after he's been approved as a driver. You follow me? Mm-hmm. So they'll do all the background checks, and then if that comes back, you get approved as a driver, you'll automatically you'll fill out the information for your merchant account, and you'll get an automatic. There is no credit check to go through.
Awesome.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And another question here is, can a driver work other cities? So if they travel, they go to another city, can they work another city?
I think you can work in the state, but not out of state.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of states have different restrictions, so you might have to register again, right, on those states.
Yes.
So if you're just going to like one city to the next city, Dallas to Houston or Dallas to Fort Worth or something,
shouldn't be a problem because they're in the system as belonging to that state under that TNC. So it's when you get out of state where you run into a problem.
Okay, perfect. A lot of people have that question. Another one is from Marco Johnson. I feel like I'm like Oprah or something. Like, okay, we have another question. So another question from Marco is, how much are the reward points worth?
Great question. The 25 points, which is what you receive when you personally ride, is worth 10 cents. And 100 points is worth 40 cents, which is what you get from your referrals.
What was that?
So if I refer my app, I download the app, I refer it out to 100 people or 1,000 people or one person. Anytime somebody takes a ride on my app that you've downloaded, I get 40 cents.
Absolutely.
So it'll build quickly if you have lots and lots of people, friends that you can send your app to, and they download it.
Yep. Somebody had a question here as well earlier that I saw. Is do drivers only, they're not influencers, do they get money, commissions? They do not. The program for the drivers only is you refer 3 and your membership is free. That's all they get, which is great. They're making
if you want to make commissions off of being an influencer, if you're a driver, you have to become an influencer to make commissions. The driver themselves, they have their merchant account, so they get the ride fare itself. So,
okay.
Some people's asking, are people getting $25 ride voucher? No, they are not. That is a rumor that has been going around for months, and it's not true.
There's more value and consistency if people share and David did a beautiful job on this. If you really think about it, what he did is he put a bounty basically every time that car moves. If you shared that app, so you just think about it. If you have 10 or 15 people that are on the app and they're using Tryp, you're making 40 cents every time they take a ride. We have some influencers that have 25 million people that have come to us that want to put the app on their website and download it because they signed up for free. They can do that. But can you imagine? Now it's a source of revenue for an influencer. And we haven't just had one. We've had hundreds of influencers come to us, probably have a total of, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of people. So that's how we're going to get the app out there. And the influencers love it because they can just promote it on their website. They download it from the website, it's connected to them, and they start going from there.
And think about real quick. Let me answer that real quick. Think about future partnerships that you could be lining up right now with hotels, with events, right? Any businesses that have. Let me give you just a quick idea. I owned a restaurant for a few years, okay, and so I did a lot of research on that industry. Average restaurant, even if there's a mall, they have about 2,000 loyal customers that come to their doors, right? So now think about it. But some restaurants have way more than that. Even restaurants, if you sign up, somebody, the owner or the manager, the hostess, they're giving out that app. Think about every single time those people ride, or it's revenue coming back to their business, right? So I can see, hotels coming on board. I mean, because we actually created a revenue source for businesses through our app, and they already have the customers, right? So I'm sure that's going to happen a lot, and you guys could be setting up those relationships.
Absolutely, it's big. Churches, nonprofits, you name it.
Correct.
So one of the
churches alone is a great example. Yeah,
churches. Yeah, that's a huge market. So one of the other questions is from Tiffany. Tiffany's an amazing person here. Should we wait to place from the holding tank until version 2.0?
Can you repeat that question again?
Should we wait to place people from the holding tank until the version 2.0 is out?
No, go ahead and place them. Most people have issues resolved already, but if you are still finding some issues, Bishop and I go through them tons of times a day.
Yeah, all day, all night, we're on that.
Yeah. So, but they are getting fixed every single day. One of the problems people are seeing, and they're not noticing, right? We've had a lot of sponsor changes, a lot, right? You guys saying, oh, I sent my link wrong to somebody, or I sent my sponsor referral link to my person. So that person got moved sometimes out of the organization. You're not seeing that. Today happened with one guy, right, that we saw.
Right.
And that was the issue. So it wasn't really an issue. It was that they had forgotten that they had moved people away from and they had to just replace it again. So yeah, just keep sending them over. We look at them every single day. I am personally helping on that. That's part of one of my daily tasks, because I want to make sure you guys are taken care of. So, but yeah, don't wait. Place your team.
Yeah, definitely place your people. You don't want to wait. One of the other questions, David, is they said Uber and Lyft offer like $5 for a new rider to use the app. What's their incentive here?
I mean, if you didn't get what we just said, not be rude, but that's a whole difference, right? It's a one-time benefit. Our benefit keeps on paying you every single time, right? So the user, as they use it, they get paid every single time, right? And when they share, they get paid every single time. So that is what makes it so sexy, so strong, is that the ability for you to have, without paying us any money, to build a residual income, right? Just from sharing one app, which is, the world understands and they're used to rideshare. Not to say we're not going to have promotions, right? Not to say that we're not going to do some amazing things for the users. I have, if Bob knows that I kind of had to twist his arm a little bit on that to put an extra budget, right, Bob? That extra 5 cents on it. And, because I in my mind, I call it my play around with money, because it's a budget that all that money can go towards is for promotions for riders, right, for users. And I plan on doing something called Take a Trip on Us, for example, so that we're going to pick users and send them on a trip, just by using the service. We're going to do some very, think outside the box kind of style. We can't just say, hey, guys, come here and get $25 credit. Because think about this, right? We already know that this is going to go viral. What if, right? I mean, 2, 3, 4, 5 million people download the app that has a $25 voucher. We're on the hole for $100 million, possibly, right? Without even starting. So we can't do something like that hurt the business, right? But again, doesn't mean that we're not going to do promotions. We're going to do a lot of exciting things. We don't foresee any issues in getting the app out there, because we have a very, very exciting program.
Right. And so Chris Hope just asked the question, which everyone gets asked nonstop, which is the base fee. Like, what is the fee? Is it a base fee, a time fee, a distance fee, in terms of what the riders are being charged? A lot of people have that question as their number one question from drivers.
You mean how the rider fare? What is that going to look like?
Yes.
Yeah, the rider fare is very close to what an Uber or Lyft will be. There's no surge pricing. We're a lot lower on the booking fee. There's still fees that we have to collect. For example, if you're in Seattle or New Orleans, the cities have a fee they tag us with, like on top of like a 40-cent ride fee or a 60-cent ride fee. So we have to collect those. We have to collect the airport fees. We don't make any money on those. We just have to pass those on because every car that rides under our logo is tagged with geofencing when they go into an airport. So there's no escaping it. You get tagged. We get a bill for whatever that might be, $250, $260, or whatever the airport fee would be. So we have to track all this stuff and pay it all. So those are those are not included. But I mean, they're included in the total ride that has to be paid. But from the rider point of view, we're going to be extremely competitive on pricing. They'll be priced by market. So Phoenix could be a little different than Tucson, or Salt Lake could be different than Las Vegas. All of these markets are a little different from each other. So everything we got to program in or be by market.
Don't bring with. We'll bring riders to Tryp. Okay, you might want to see a presentation. Okay, perfect. Oh, he was saying, I was speaking in terms of what the drivers make, Bishop. Do the drivers, is it a base fee, a time fee, or distance?
All of the above. So they get time and distance. They get the cancellation fee. They get the wait time fee, 100% of it, and obviously the tip.
Okay, so there you go, Chris. Yeah, and David says, and no surcharge. Absolutely.
Surcharge, yeah.
Right, Chris. Okay, perfect. Another last minute question here. There's not too many left.
Yeah, but let's make this maybe this last one, Bishop. It's been 1 hour. We're here already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was saying. This would be the last one.
The guys have been great, by the way. It's I love that we're doing this.
Yeah, this is so much better than the conference call. I remember when we were talking about this, you know, we said one of the things we want to do as a company is be completely transparent, you know, and really connect with you guys. And so we figured that these live broadcasts were the best way, you know, so we could really just build that relationship with everyone. Time for the live video. Okay, perfect. One of the last questions was, are you guys going to, no, if I market under my own brand, can I market this in like a mall with a kiosk or something?
Yeah, I mean, why not? Are you talking about, I mean, it really depends, right? If you're out there promoting it, just to, let's put it this way, get the apps of people to download Tryp app, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you can even be there as Tryp as long as you're not, you know,
somebody was asking, are we going to go to doormen and tell them to market Tryp, like doormen of clubs and different things like that? And Sydney said what I was going to say. You should sign up the doormen and have them pass out the app and so make 40 cents.
That's exactly what I'm saying earlier about restaurants and things like that, right? You don't have. Here's the thing, right? It's okay if. Let me make sure you guys understand this part, and then we're going to wrap up. Okay. It's okay if you're not the one getting the 40 cents. Right? Let me explain to you why. If you haven't noticed, there's a reason why every single person comes in as a free member, and then they can upgrade from that point on. The reason being is because everybody's connected to somebody. So think about there's, you know, anyway, a doorman of a hotel, a club. I mean, anybody that can have approach that to a lot of people. And he's giving out 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 apps over time. All of those people are connected to you. Even you're not making the 40 cents because the doorman is making the 40 cents, but they are connected to you. And what do I mean? What do I mean by that? We know that people lose jobs, right? People will steal marketing material. People will just get excited, and people will upgrade, and we'll do a lot of promotions ourselves to help people understand why not become a driver. Uber, Lyft does it. Every company does it, right? We'll be promoting that to those free members as well. Obviously not, you know, pissing them off, but, you know, properly done it. And guess what happens, do you think, if they upgrade? The doorman invited some people, 1,000 people, eventually 100 of them upgraded. What happens to those people? They are in your team. You get paid commission for that. So that it's really exciting. So you want to get to
Ellen was asking if the doorman wasn't an influencer, does it pass up to her?
It's not even a pass up, right? Because it's in your team. Remember, we pay by groups, right? So it's in your team.
That's the uniqueness. That's the uniqueness of the business model. When you start seeing the residual income flying in, when these 199 start coming in every month, the massive amount of cash flow that comes through that goes out into the influencers is going to be staggering.
Yes, it will. And so, is there real-time reporting, David? A lot of people were asking in the back office, so they know how many drivers are in each city, so they know what to work on. And is there some kind of reporting?
Right now, it's not. We're still doing a lot of work on the system itself, and on the 2.0, the goal is to be, if not live, every hour update. But yes,
I talked to Rudy about that this morning. So we're going to develop some software that will be live, and you'll actually see in Tucson, Arizona, if there's 3,625 drivers, you'll see them in there. You won't see the individual, but you'll know how many drivers are in that market in your back office.
Yeah, just give me an idea right now. We can create a Tryp map and have an on-demand map popping up. That'll be great.
Yeah, so they're developing that now. And that's not that very difficult to do because we collect all that information anyway. We just have to associate that information with the zip code to whatever city it belongs to. And that's just some mapping software that they got to put in play.
Awesome. Somebody, I think this is Alan probably asking, the $50 fast start. Yes, it does fast up.
Yeah, you have compression.
Yes. Which is great.
Perfect. Okay. Really appreciate you guys. Remember, this market is a moving market. So again, in business, you got to be a friend of the trend. So make sure you maximize this opportunity. And like I always say, it's not enough to be in the right place at the right time. You also got to be the right person in the right place at the right time. You have to recognize and seize opportunities when they're staring you in the face, and you got to take massive, massive, massive action. So with that said, we appreciate you guys. Remember, this industry is going to 97 million rides per day, you guys. 97 million rides per day is what this industry is predicted to grow to in the next 8 to 10 years here. So again, Mr. David Mata, our co-founder and CMO, and of course, our amazing visionary CEO, Mr. Robert McNulty. Appreciate you guys being on.
Thanks, everyone, for dropping on tonight. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks for
people in the Facebook group. Make sure you add your people to the group.
Yes. You got to start getting these lots of people.
Absolutely. Take care.
Bye.